We are.
No, no, we're not. We're 5 minutes late. Don't lie to
I
the
said.
people.
I said almost.
Rune is coming.
Lying to the people again.
We don't need to know about Rune coming.
I think it'll do him some good. He's seen Pin Up the last couple of weeks.
I think that's just how he is.
Well, I mean, squeezing one out will do him some good. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics Life and Church of Failure. I am your host. And with me this week, as usual, are my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney and Larry Bernard.
How's it going, everybody?
Zing!
Fuck. I don't even know what to do with that opening now. Man, I was about to put out the tweet too. I forgot what I was going to type, you motherfucker.
That we're no longer churches. And in this church, the only rules are no shirt, no shoes, no service. It is pants off.
No problem. What are you talking about, Larry?
You're wearing pants.
You see, I was commenting to Rune that you're not being here is a key missing part of the formula. I've not actually listened to the show when I'm not here. I assume that there's something missing from the show without me being here.
Mainly topics, but yeah.
Yeah, mostly topics.
any kind of real content.
And a sense of direction, a purpose to life.
The Jewish question, all of it.
And without Rune, there's nobody here to argue with you and me.
Or Ayrton, for that matter. He actually argues with Ayrton more than he does anybody else.
That's true, but that's because I'm very good at getting under his skin.
So, there's.
And then when, he's here.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear in a fursuit.
Hello. If you think about it, the devil has always been in a fursuit. It's just skin tight, red, and has horns. That's why he was sent to hell in the first place.
Yeah, he stole it from pants.
And he had no bit.
Look, I'm just saying, there was God, and God was like, okay, Lucy, I understand that you need to feel free and that you need to be a special person. I don't mind if you wear the red fursuit, but I have a problem with you telling other people to make fursuits. We're not for that here.
Yeah, but in fairness to God, he had no business being double cheeked up on a Sunday like that.
That's true.
So Rune, church is all
right.
So Rune, church is all pent up because he missed the show last night. So you're gonna have to help him get some of this out.
Oof.
Okay.
No, it's Rune that's pent up, not me.
I mean, I have an interesting new topic I only just found out about that is hilarious, but that's gamer related. We can talk about tabletop stuff later. Oh, we actually have an image for Phase 5? Holy shit.
Yeah, we do.
I want to see something stupid.
All right.
Is it a picture of the bed that Amber Heard shit on?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Is it a picture of the bed?
Share that image with our audience?
I'm getting pulled up right now.
Oh, no. Is that where we're starting? Is that our first subject?
I guess we are now.
We are now, because that was too perfect of a segue.
Okay, well, welcome to Disney Shill Stream.
Okay.
I mean, the problem is there's only one of those things that looks remotely appealing to me, maybe two.
There is? There's that many?
Yes.
There's exactly one. No, you're right. There's exactly two that look doable, and one that shouldn't exist because they already did that story badly.
Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
Yep.
I'm at least invested in.
Yep.
We already had that. It was called Endgame.
No,
true.
That was.
Well, they have to do Guardians 3 because they both already seeded Adam Warlock, and we don't get it. We're gonna be pissed. And in the second, they have to set up the Annihilation Wave. They got to introduce Annihilus, so they can bring in the Fantastic Four. But carry on. What's the other one for you, Larry?
Counterpoint. They don't have to do any of that.
But they think they do. No, actually, Larry, I disagree. I think Guardians and Blade. Okay, because even though I don't like that they swapped from Wesley Snipes, who could still do the role, I understand why they did it, and I think the new guy isn't bad because he was okay in Luke Cage, which I actually did watch on Netflix. But no,
I mean, he's a good actor.
We don't need Born Again. They did Born Again badly on Netflix. And I know that there are a lot of people that like that particular storyline, but the fact of the matter is that storyline is only so good as it is due to the aggregate amount of narrative that had been built up around Daredevil. Even if it's Charlie Cox, it's just not. It's not going to sell to my brain. And I love Charlie Cox Daredevil.
Not on Disney Plus. That's
wait.
watchable.
Is any of this not on Disney Plus?
Well, I mean, technically everything's going to be on Disney Plus, but you got Quantumania coming to theaters.
Nope.
Hard pass. You got Guardians 3. You got Blade coming to theaters. You got Captain America: New World Order.
Nope.
Where Sam Wilson's going to talk about how racist everything is. And then,
ironically, so you had the what was the second Captain America movie?
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so you had Winter Soldier where Captain America, fucks off the government, and then this one you're probably going to have. It's probably going to be Sam trying to lead some effort to unify people, and
in that
going to be retarded.
Well, the thing is that in that show, no one watched Winter Soldier and the Falcon. They already had USA Agent, who's an interesting character, but he's obviously not Captain America.
U.S. Agent.
The thing is that what they ultimately have to do, in my opinion, and you're right, they don't have to do it, but I think it's what they're going to do, is because they've got Secret Invasion back at the other end of the list, and they're doing Brave New World Order, they're trying to lay the groundwork for doing Secret Empire, which nobody fucking wants, so they can have racist Cap Nazi on the screen. But they're also seeding that they're going to do Secret Wars to try and deflect people away from the idea that they're doing bad decisions.
I think they can do Secret Empire with Nazi Captain America if they get Chris Evans back in the role and just superimpose Donald Trump's face over him.
I mean, at some point they're going to have MODOK, and they'll just superimpose Trump's face on MODOK since that's what MODOK.
They don't need to. They already have MODOK as Patton Oswalt. So
they don't. That show got fucking canceled after one season.
Well, that's because he killed his wife. But
whoa, what?
Wait, what?
Did MODOK kill his wife, or did Patton Oswalt kill his wife?
Patton Oswalt allegedly killed his wife.
Holy shit! No, I did not. I had not heard.
No, okay, quick question: did she deserve it?
I mean, no, because it's Patton Oswalt. She was the same.
You can't see it. You can't see it, Ayrton, but I'm giving you a look of disdain.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you can feel it. You can feel it through the internet.
Rude. I am quite familiar with that tone that you're looking at me with.
Larry, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah, Patton Oswalt was. There's a contingent of people online that believe that Patton Oswalt is the reason his wife died.
Okay, so it's not proven. It's not up on charges. He's not being called by the cops.
Basically,
unfortunately,
she committed suicide, and there were some mental illness-related issues, and that's the.
I mean, look, William Shatner's 90 this year, and throwing shade on New Trek, and there's still suspicion that he had his wife killed.
Yeah, but he didn't. He was too busy being off boning green chicks.
I mean, probably.
I mean, and Bill Clinton, killed those people. So
Also boning green chicks.
Well, no.
also boning green
No.
chicks.
You got to lay that correctly. Bill Clinton was boning green chicks, and his wife killed some people.
Yes.
Well, there was that one guy,
That's correct.
like in the '90s that Clinton had killed.
Right. You're talking about Whitewater as opposed to Watergate.
No.
And-
The killing was Mina, not the Whitewater. It was a different scandal.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. The one that Norm Macdonald referenced on The View that got him banned.
Oh, that's the. I'm not saying I appreciate these kinds of bad jokes, but I do find it interesting that for decades we were allowed to make jokes about one of the Kennedys murdering a secretary in a sex scandal by driving a car off river.
Oh,
Right.
no. He totally did that.
Yeah,
Right.
he 1,000% did that.
Right. No, I know he did. And we used to be allowed to make jokes about it. But you make one joke
There's-
about the Clintons and you get kicked off The View. When you're Norm Macdonald, then you shouldn't have been on The View to begin with.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
But
That's a deep cut, Rune.
But speaking of media conspiracies, what about the fact that the Snyder Cut was totally fake?
No, that's
Oh,
them
the same-
trying to
no.
deflect.
Rune, you don't have to continue with your policy of being a bot anymore. Here's the thing.
Oh,
It
what?
was a subsect of us who were paid by Snyder himself
Oh, I
in
mean,
order to we were paid massive amounts of money by Snyder to push up the social media ranking of Release the Snyder Cut. And then when that got too expensive, he just bought the same bot farm that trended all the Amber Heard memes.
I mean, that's possible, Church. But if that's true, then you owe me money, you motherfucker.
No, I don't, because I just signed your name. I didn't actually say I was going to pay you.
Yeah, that's the thing. The entire time that I should have been supporting Snyder, I was like, nah. If you told me, hey Joe, if you support Snyder, we'll put
Oh, you-
money in your
you-
pocket, I would have totally sold out.
You were supporting Snyder, don't worry. You just, didn't know you were. It's cool.
Now,
It's cool. I cashed those paychecks. Don't worry. They got cashed.
Oh, good.
now, I just want to know: do they know the difference between bots and memes? The mainstream
No.
media.
No.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, they do know the difference because the studios hire the bot farms.
Well,
Yeah.
here's
I,
the
I said the mainstream media, not like Hollywood
Yeah.
and stuff.
the thing is that we're talking about hierarchies with multiple layers. So there are layers that
Yeah.
know what's going on. There are layers that don't know what's going on, and there are layers that know what's going on but are smart enough not to talk about it.
Well, I'm just saying because Twitter literally memed Marvel into re-releasing Morbius, and then it tanked again after the second time they released it.
Well, I mean,
Look,
they
that's because we were all at the dentist that day.
Hey,
If they put it out one more time,
Hey.
I promise we'll be there to watch it.
Ayrton, you gotta understand, I'm a dirty little edgelord who saw that
Yeah.
movie in the theater,
Yeah.
and we're playing Power Rangers together. It's Morbin time.
Speaking of which, we're going to have the release of those cuts soon, so we can start promoting the next session.
Oh, good.
So
Good.
yeah. The thing is that I'm sorry to say, I don't feel the Schneider Cut thing has legs as a conversation, because it's mostly like, we're gonna do this thing. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit.
I
Well,
didn't give a
honestly
shit
at least
before.
they have no
Well,
plans to do anything else.
let's be perfectly honest right now, okay? This whole bashing of the Snyder Cut is all being put out there so that everyone understands that the studio is washing their hands of Amber Heard and Ezra Miller.
Right.
Both of whom were selected
And-
by Snyder.
And
Yeah.
and in addition, they want to make sure that people understand that the studio decides what you get, even though they absolutely cave to social pressure.
And the fact that Snyder hired Ezra Miller, even though knowing he had choked out 2 people, and the studio was aware that he brought minors with him on a promotional tour for Harry Potter.
Because The reason I mention is because my position has never changed. I'm not
Well, I
interested
mean,
in this. I was not interested in the Snyder Cut. I'm not that impressed by Zack Snyder's work as a director. His best films are well behind him because he has made a succession of absolute tripe
And gotten paid very well for it.
and got paid very well for it. So it's my position is not anti-Snyder hype. My position is consistent Snyder disdain.
But the thing is that what the story in Variety that claims the whole hype behind the Snyder Cut was a bot farm operation similar to the Pro Amber Heard bot farm operation. It puts into the limelight the fact that agents can afford to pay for bot farms to promote stories about their talent.
Well,
yeah,
there's that, but there's also that the studios want to change up. Specifically, Warner Brothers wants to change up their Warner Brothers layout because they know it's not working, and they needed a mechanism, and they were kind of left in a lurch when it's not even the Snyderverse did well. It's that the demand was so high that they couldn't offload Snyder, who had just suffered a major personal tragedy, right? And the people they were picking up were not doing it. So
I I honestly think that sales are so low for some of these films that DC and Warner actually viewed the uptick in HBO subscriptions
right,
as a win because so many
right.
people critical to the DC wanted to see the Snyder Cut just to
That's
shit on it.
that's
But
the
it wasn't.
thing
But it wasn't that
is
big an upswing compared to the upswing for Wonder Woman 84 and of course Godzilla.
right, but that's the
Right.
thing is the DC cinematic universe is not working. They know it's not working, but they also know that they are in a weird time for a studio where it's like, well, can't we just reboot it? Well, we already rebooted it. Well, can't we reboot it again? People won't go to a reboot anymore.
I mean, they
They, they,
will.
they will, but they won't. They won't go in sufficient numbers to make back the investment on a reboot.
Well, here's the thing. Let's 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 imagine that David Zaslav's hiring us to fix things.
Okay.
We could do a reboot that'll get people in the theaters, but the thing is, people are tired of being baited and switched. So
All
we
right.
want
Let
to see
me.
a Batman movie that's a Batman movie, not a
Right. But
Batman movie overblown, redoing of Batman versus Superman mixed with Doomsday, mixed with a bunch of other toys being
right.
pounded together on the bed.
Let me throw a comparison at you. From a certain perspective, Joker is a Joker origin story movie,
Mhm.
right? But from another perspective, especially due to certain scenes, spoilers for an old movie. Anybody that's paying attention, um, it is a uh, Batman origin story, right?
Mhm.
And if you said to people, okay, we did Joker, now we're going to do a Batman film that's going to pick up after Joker, that this is a cohesive, connected story, right? Then
Mhm.
the good press that Joker generated will blend over into a Batman story. We'll do a
And
Batman origin if it builds on a good origin story. But we're not going to watch another movie expressly about the Waynes getting shot in the face.
well, here's the thing. I was gonna say
No,
like that should be
Batman
that
has
should
to be Adam West or I'm out.
yes, CGI his face on whoever you cast. But no, I mean I think that would be the selling point for any new Batman movie. Hey, guess what? We're not killing the Waynes at the beginning of this one.
You don't
Right.
have to.
I,
You
I
guys
mean,
just make it a pre-credit like not even a scene but a title card. You guys knows what happens at the beginning of this movie, so we're just gonna skip to the
well,
good stuff.
let me just throw a idea out there. My little creative brain. I would love it if they did a movie about essentially Year One Batman without riffing Batman Year One, right? Where you have Batman in a not bat suit beating up criminals, right? And because
We
he
had that. It was
is
called Daredevil on Netflix.
oh sure, but because he is unpolished in what he's doing, he's a little angrier, he's a little more violent, right? And you have this flashback sequence that's not a flashback sequence because it's less than a second long, right? But every time Batman is punching this dude that he has, is beating into the ground and making look like an abortion, uh, you get snapshots of the Wayne murder because he's reliving it every night, and
I
that's all
mean,
you got to do.
You should do the snapshots of the murder. You should do the snapshots of the pearls falling to the ground.
Right. You do the pearls, you do the blood, you do the posts, right? You do the cemetery with the big stone. Right. Matter of point, I'm not kidding. Except for maybe in Batman Returns, I cannot recall a film where Batman actually goes to the cemetery to actually look at the Wayne cemeterial plot.
Because he goes to the alley.
No, he goes to the alley as well. Batman's always gone to both. And that's the thing, though. It's like, I don't recall him
Bruce
going...
Wayne goes to the graves. Batman goes to the alley.
Right.
Well, I mean, Bruce Wayne also goes to the alley.
Well, I mean, he did in Batman by Burton. But, I mean, that was an excellent Batman. And
he
that's
also
my
did
suggestion.
Batman Beyond.
Yeah, but that's animated TV. But my suggestion, Church,
He's
is...
no longer Batman in Batman Beyond.
But,
I
Church,
mean, he disagrees
my
with
suggestion,
you.
let's deepfake Adam West's face onto Michael Keaton. To get
Actually, I
ultimate
think
Batman.
Ayrton would be okay with Batman Returns starring Michael Keaton, Dark Knight Returns starring Michael Keaton.
Yeah, no, Keaton would be great.
Starring
Look,
starring Adam West as Michael Keaton as Batman and Batman
Right.
The Dark Knight Returns.
The thing is that even if you didn't like Birdman because it's try hard, edgy, arty farty bullshit, right? It was great commentary on Michael Keaton's career, right? And it made me like, yeah, I could see Michael Keaton be Batman. I'd go for that. Whereas,
Well, you're going to see that now.
In a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to watch
two bad
Batgirl.
movies, actually.
I don't
He's
want
going
to
to be Batman
watch
in the
Batgirl.
Batgirl movie, and he's going to be Batman in the Flash movie.
I don't want to watch the Batgirl movie because the person making the Batgirl movie didn't know that Michael Keaton was Batman, or that J.K. Simmons was Commissioner Gordon.
Even though she cast him as Batman.
Okay, you know,
I think that's the thing that she. I think that's the thing
Wait,
she
what?
lied about for media promotional purposes.
It is the same reason I do not want to see a Taika Waititi Superman sequel.
Well, there's
Because the man's
also
a
the
retard.
possibility that there's also the possibility that the casting director knew that Michael Keaton was Batman.
There's also the possibility that someone at the studio says, "Listen, we need you to sell to non-nerds that you're not a nerd. So tell them you don't know what any of the fuck this shit is."
Which brings us back around to the fundamental disingenuous behavior of large-scale corporate bodies in filmmaking, which is the problem. You sell to nerds with authenticity.
Wait. Are you saying Hollywood is unscrupulous?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm shocked.
no,
I tell
they-
you.
They don't have to.
Hey, Harvey. Come and get this. Hollywood's corrupt and unscrupulous.
But they
Sorry,
don't have to.
wait
sell
a minute.
he's
Wait a
jacking
minute.
off into a fern at the moment. Hold on. I'll be
Wait,
in a second.
wait a minute, Ayrton. Since when have we been at the center of the earth? When do
He's
I meet
making a different
Dimcock?
Harvey reference. He's
Okay.
making a different Harvey reference.
Okay.
But no.
I mean,
the
I
thing
can
is, you don't have-
imagine.
You don't have,
I can imagine Harvey Cthulhu jacking off in his little bubble.
but you don't have to work hard to get nerds to show up. We
Unfortunately.
need attention.
Yeah.
You have to work hard to get normies to show up.
But I mean, because hey, segues. This is the same silliness with the name of the new DCU X-Men film.
I mean,
I
MCU
actually-
X-Men film,
Wait,
the music.
DC's coming out with an X-Men film?
Yeah, it's called Doom Patrol.
Oh, okay.
No, the MCU X-Men movie. I am tickled that people in our sphere of critique are throwing a snit because the name of the movie is The Mutants.
Because it sounds like a generic 70s horror movie.
No, because this reveals who doesn't actually read comics. Hey, Church, what was Stan Lee's original name for the X-Men?
The point being, Rune, I hear what you're saying, but I'm actually in the camp that naming the film The Mutants is akin to calling them the gays or the blacks.
No. I agree. Here's the thing. I agree with
Kurt,
you.
want to watch The Cripples, the movie with me?
Yeah, right.
I'd watch that. I love watching cripples fall down.
The homosexuals.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I'm with you. I actually think the name the mutants is stupid. Just call them the X-Men. But I also don't think of the names that they could use, it is the worst. And I don't think that it is outright and we're pandering to these subgroups kind of thing. It is they didn't want to have another movie called X-Men to associate a new franchise, albeit a established franchise, with a succession of failed films.
So the easiest way to do that,
just make your franchise Children of the Atom.
No, easier than that. You add one word to it. You call it the New Mutants.
They did that. It failed.
And it was actually a good movie.
They've already done that?
They did a New Mutants movie.
It was the last of the Sony, last of the Fox X-Men movie.
Larry says it's good. Larry says it's good. I thought it was shit. But I believe it was released as it was going to be a film, then it was going to be released on streaming as a TV series, then it was a film again. It had a very troubled release schedule.
It was supposed to be like a horror thing, right?
Right. Its only claim to fame in terms of content is they had Arya Stark, Maisie Williams, as Wolfsbane, which is my least favorite character.
They also had Anna Taylor-Joy as Magic, and Anna Taylor-Joy is extremely hot.
Who was also apparently extremely racist, because we just referred to the Red Man as Red Man throughout the movie when talking to, what is it, Moonstone?
Yeah, but I mean, she's Russian. Russians are known to be racist.
Which itself is a racist assertion, not by you, but the presumption that's like, I am playing Russian woman, I am very racist. Like, really?
No, that's accurate. That's how that works.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was also Russian in late 80s, early 90s.
I know, because Ayrton's ordered a bunch of them.
Not a bunch, like a handful.
Keep trying, Ayrton. Eventually you'll find the one that truly loves you.
Yeah.
At the bottom of a Cracker Jack box.
But my problem ultimately is the X-Men is the IP people know. So if you call it the mutants, no one's going to show up.
Well, they will show up because of the implied bullshit that they just did. In that article, they use a picture of Patrick Stewart from Multiverse of Madness. Well, this is not a direct statement that Patrick Stewart will be in. They want you to think that Patrick Stewart might be in.
No, they're going to cast the black guy from
No, I know.
Breaking Bad.
I was transitioning to the fact they're going to have the black guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Gus Fring.
Is a bad idea because the people associate Professor X with a certain appearance. You can't do the race swap. This isn't Batman. Most people know who the fuck Harvey Dent is now.
Well, no, you can do the race swap because remember Nick Fury. You could do the Sam Jackson bit, but only because they established Sam Jackson as Nick Fury in the Ultimates.
Well, also
that's the thing. There was
support because it's Sam Jackson.
Yeah. But the accurate question
Sam Jackson could play George Washington for all I care. Like,
hey, I do want to.
I'm tired of these motherfucking redcoats.
I do want to alert our audience to the important news on our stream that Ethan Ralph of the Kill Stream is a convicted sex offender.
He is a convicted sex offender.
Oh, have we got that up again?
Yeah, I forgot to put it up at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, he is a convicted sex offender, and he's possibly going to jail on a misdemeanor speeding offense.
That's not even remotely a joke, Rune.
No, that is hilarious. It's like, what did you do? Oh, I raped some kids. It's like, oh god.
Oh no.
Are you going to jail for it? No. What are you going to jail for? Speeding.
Well, here's the thing. He released revenge pornography a year ago, or not even a year ago, like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And was on a 1-year suspended sentence for it. So he couldn't get in any more legal trouble.
Right.
And in the state of Virginia, going 20 miles over the speed limit is reckless driving, so it's not just a speeding ticket.
So, I mean, it's Ethan Ralph. I was going to say, is he an idiot? But we know the answer is yes.
Speaking of Ethans. Since we know it's a scientific fact that all of them are terrible human beings, guess what
At
happened
least-
with me and Ethan this week?
At least on the internet.
I mean, maybe not. We'll see. I mean, did you hear that Ethan Ralph is a convicted sex offender in real life?
Did you know that Ethan Van Sciver is a thin-skinned little bitch?
Oh, are we pulling out all the stops tonight?
Well, I mean, he did block me.
Didn't you back him? Aren't you waiting on your cyber frog?
I am. I am waiting on
Yeah.
my Cyber Frog Wreck planet
So
and my
so
Rainbow the
I-
Brute.
so I can't give all the information, but I want to mention that a friend of mine that we all know did in fact get let go from a job because as the boss was wildly mismanaging it, he pointed out, it's like, boss, full respect, you're wildly mismanaging this, and he was just fired. The thing is that my friend also was an investor. He had given about $500 to the project, right? So
Yeah.
after he was fired, said former boss came around and was like, are you still going to give money to the project? It's like, what? The
No.
money I already gave? More? And he's like, yeah, you need more money? It's like, no, I'm not going to support your failed project that you fired me from.
Fantastic.
Extra funny is that I was engendered to work on that project, and I was there for exactly 2 days before I walked. Now, mind you, my action was not professional. It was the inappropriate way to do it. But after having left, everybody I've ever spoken to was like, "Oh yeah, you got out. Good. It's good you didn't
Well-
stick around. That was a shit show."
Here's the situation though. So
Yeah.
Ethan Van Sciver puts on this this tweet about how he's looking forward to an animated Cyberfrog series, and he said, "I'd love to think about that after the first 4 books are done, and then Cyberfrog season 1."
Along
Indeed.
with some great-looking toys and apparel.
Right. So that he can get Cyberfrog season 1 into bookstores and comic stores. And I just responded to a screen cap of this tweet
Right.
that had nothing to do with Ethan Van Sciver. He wasn't tagged. That, once the 4th book is done in 2045, we can look forward to the show on Hulu Flicks that we can stream on our
Right.
iPhone 73s.
Exactly.
I'm
No,
just
I mean,
being realistic.
You did post that to John Malin, so you think
Yeah.
Malin marked on you?
Yeah.
Literally who?
The thing is, Church, is that you were being snarky, but the thing is, anyone who knows you, anyone who follows your commentary knows you're a snarky, drunken son of a bitch. So, yeah,
I just
like-
want to know why a 6-like tweet is enough to get me a banhammer from OEVS there.
oh no, you know why?
After I've thrown out well
No.
over $100 at
No,
his
you-
projects.
No, Church, you know why? You questioned the God and Savior. You did not. You committed a heresy in the
No,
cult.
Rune. It's because he stepped on a BeeEEthan.
That's right.
Oof.
Okay. I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
stepped on
But
a-
That's okay. That's okay. It's fine.
It's an Amber Heard reference. My dog stepped on a bee.
okay.
Look. Church, I'm just saying, all you need to do is go to Pizza Hut and make Ethan happy.
Just buy him a whole pie. Meet him in the back alley.
Wait, does he prefer Pizza Hut or Comet Pizza in DC?
I mean,
No,
No,
let's.
no.
All right, let's be honest. Ethan prefers Papa John's.
Oh, Rune, you didn't hear the
He
story.
doesn't know, my sweet summer child.
What?
So a
Papa John
rumor-
ate 40 pizzas in
No.
1 month?
No. There was a rumor about a thing that Ethan Van Sciver did behind a Pizza Hut.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, involving a happy ending.
But we can talk about that. Unfortunately, it's the wrong month to talk about that rumor. We should have talked about
What?
it more last month.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, sure, everyone has to be in the closet after last month, but it's fine. We can talk about it.
I mean,
Well,
look.
I mean,
I
he was
freely admit to
gratefully
being
thanking
slowpoke.
someone on his knees.
I mean, that's his business. My question would be, why did you do that behind a Pizza Hut and not like in your home?
Or your car.
Yeah, really. In the wilderness
Because
where people are
that's
not.
the whole scene.
Oh, I see. He can't get off unless there's a chance that somebody's going to come in back with a box of pizzas and see him covered in cheese blowing some guy.
Exactly. Allegedly.
I
Now the
can't
person,
either, but
The cheesy humiliation is part of the power of fantasy.
right.
now the
You
person who
understand.
spread this rumor, and I have no evidence that Ethan Van Sciver did go behind a Pizza Hut. I'm merely mentioning the rumor because it's funny. Also claimed that Ethan Van Sciver's beef with the artist behind the Chick-fil-A tie-in comic was because Ethan was stalking his wife.
Well, apparently his dog has an interview out.
See, this is why we have Ayrton on the show, everybody, to bring the really hard-hitting cuts.
By the way, this has been my favorite meme for like a month and a half.
With the homophobic dog.
Oh yeah.
The actual dog, by the way, is owned by 2 gay guys.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I
I'll
knew
be there in a
that.
minute, Ma.
So, yes, Miss Rena, church is back. Just like the McRib.
By unpopular demand. Against many people, better judgment, I have returned.
It's a detriment to everybody's health. Even if you don't try a McRib, I still think you gain 4 pounds and lose about 17 minutes off your life if you smell it. But
let's move on to something more serious and somber. Comic book legend passed away, and we need to talk about that.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Alan Grant.
oh shit, I don't have anything pulled up for that one. Hold on.
Well, Church, why don't you educate those people in the audience who may not know about what a great comic book professional Alan Grant was?
Alan Grant is one of the few people who I own an art book of for his work on Batman. I believe that's Alan Grant. Yeah, he was the artist for that book.
Wait a minute.
Also, wasn't he Swamp Thing as well? Or am I
Yes.
thinking of some? Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's the same art book. I'm not
Are you
looking
sure
at it
you're
at
not
the
thinking
moment.
of Alan Moore?
No,
I hate
Alan
you.
Moore's a writer.
Alan
Yeah,
Moore
but-
and Alan Grant did team up together, though.
But
They did.
not on Swamp Thing.
Actually, yeah. I
Oh,
think they
okay.
did do some work together on Swamp
And-
Thing.
I'll be right back. I've dropped you a link, Ayrton, but it is not related to Alan Grant in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fuck off,
But yeah.
BBC. Alright.
So, Alan Grant was one of the fantastic artists of the '80s. A lot of influential work on Batman and Swamp Thing. I just, I figure we should pay respect to one of the greats when they pass away. I don't know if anybody else had any. He wasn't stupidly influential. Like, he wasn't my favorite artist of all time, unfortunately. But I mean, he was one of the greats.
He was.
He did some. He did some work with Bane, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that was one of his big characters.
Well, apparently
And also he did a
Rune
lot-
wants me to share a boomer meme from like 4 weeks ago.
What's
Okay.
the boomer mean?
We can do that after we get to.
I'm just getting it ready. Anyways.
But
It was
yeah,
really
he
hard
also
to find that article, by the way, because of the Jurassic Park character. Just throwing that out there.
Alan Grant also did some work with Judge Dredd. He was a top end professional, worked with everybody. Did some good work.
He did, and he will not be celebrated enough because he was not woke enough for this world. But In any event, it is a sad day when one of the greats passes away, and we haven't had anything new from him in several years, unfortunately, except compilation books and things of that nature.
Oh, this meme. This was a heartwarming meme.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, boomer meme. Anyways.
Hey, you know, Napster was a key part of church in my childhood.
I mean, I was more
Well, more
LimeWire.
ruined my childhood. But,
I was
yeah.
more LimeWire, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that Larry and I both received the same letter in the mail.
There's a chance me and Larry got the same virus in 2002. What do you
Oof.
mean?
Got the same what?
Same virus.
From the early days of streaming.
Oh
Content.
yeah.
Specifically porn, but
So normally we would be reviewing something like the Amazon Resident Evil series. That's not Amazon, the Netflix one. I've been unable to watch it.
oh yeah, that's right.
For that,
You said
we're grateful.
you couldn't even get through like an episode, could you?
Actually, I was able to make it all the way through 2.5.
Okay.
The problem is the world building and storytelling is so bad it breaks all immersion. Like they have a Hindu character fighting a biracial black chick over being a vegan.
Run that by me again.
They take a Hindu chick fighting a biracial black vegan over the biracial black vegan being a vegan. That was the thing that
Why?
happened in the
What?
show as a major plot point.
A major plot point?
Yes.
The fuck?
Like 2 whole episodes revolved around that.
Now, what kind of drugs do you think these writers were on?
Not the good kind.
No,
They
definitely
should
not.
have been
the
taking
good
white people edibles.
Right. Driving
I
spaceships
mean,
and shit.
a lot of the cringe content that was there wasn't even delivered well. Like the Zootopia porn line, the actress in question delivered it badly. And there's only one guy who's talented and it was the actor they cast to play Wesker. Unfortunately, his performance was limited by the fact that the version of Wesker in the show was terrible.
Wait, did they not cast Idris Elba as Wesker?
No. They cast another high-quality black
That was a
actor as
waste.
Wesker. But what I like is how they set up...
There's no way to
the
reverse his name with the first letters of his first and last name, so they cast Idris Elba as Wesker?
No. But what I like
With an
is
E
how
and an I, though.
they cast... they set the inciting incident in New Raccoon City in South Africa. And for people who aren't subtle...
Wait.
You know,
Hold on.
Do they have raccoons in South Africa?
No, stop, Ayrton.
What?
The majority of the cast is African American, correct?
well, the majority of the cast who actually has speaking roles is African American.
Okay. And they live in New Coon City.
New Raccoon City, in South Africa.
I said what I said.
Yeah, I know.
And also, for some reason, 90% of the people with executive authority in New Raccoon City are women.
Yeah, that would never happen in a city
that
of
checks
black
out.
people.
Well, I mean,
Well,
if you were a
it's in South
shitlord,
Africa.
well, if you're a shitlord, you might argue that the reason that the city falls to zombies and the situation falls wildly out of control is because it's controlled by women and people of color. But I wouldn't go that direction.
It falls to zombies because they stole the animal rights plotline from 48 Days Later.
Well, Rune, you know why you evacuate women and children first during a crisis, right?
Wait, 48 days later? Didn't 48 days later steal the plot line from 12 Monkeys?
No.
No, because 12 Monkeys didn't actually have zombies. They just had people die.
God damn it, Church! You interrupted my
I
bit.
mean, not on screen.
No, no.
Well, hold on,
Here's
but
the
not
thing.
on screen. We don't know what
here's
happened to the human population above ground in the 12 Monkeys.
we do.
They died.
Here's
Horrible
no.
disease.
Here's the difference. All right. A radicalized extremist in a bacteriological lab where they work with viruses and stuff stole a sample to intentionally release to destroy the human race as humans. In 12 months, or in 48 days later, a group of animal rights activists that we aren't going to call PETA break into a research facility and release an infected ape that mauls a woman who instantly turns into a zombie and is subject zero for all the zombies that come after.
And they didn't realize that would happen.
Yeah.
Versus the guy in 12 Monkeys totally realized he would exterminate the human race with his actions.
It was his plan. The entire thrust of 12 Monkeys is in fact that it's a closed paradoxical loop, and that the people from the future prevented the event in the past, and that's why you haven't experienced it.
Now, I will say that the only thing that I give a positive for in this series is the T-virus was designed to be an antidepressant.
So they stole the plot of Brain Candy.
Yes.
You okay?
They stole the plot from the Kids in the Hall movie. The Kids in the Hall now work for Umbrella.
Hey, come here. It's okay.
I mean, that does check out with Brain
I'm not
Candy.
mad.
Unrelated
Stop
to this
falling,
subject,
okay?
because oh god, I
Hey,
love that I
settle
came
down.
in for something so awful.
I'm not.
Mama Rune's doing okay.
Sorry, I muted Church while his kid was making noise in the background.
I had not mentioned because I don't want to barrage people with constant begging for hopes and prayers. But Mama went in the hospital again last week, Thursday, for pneumonia. And she is back as of last night. She's doing pretty well, and we're managing her interactions, her conditions, because we believe, though we still need to talk to her doctor, that she has the onset of a slight but presumably progressive Alzheimer's dementia type condition. You can manage it; it's manageable. She's going to continue to have a good life, but that means that every so often, if she summons me, I do in fact have to jump up and go see.
Yeah,
it's the same as usual, just more insistent. The goal, in fact, is to manage my mother's circadian rhythm so that when she goes to sleep, she stays asleep for the night, because that's better for her than waking up in the middle of the night and having problems.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The condition is called, this is your learning minute, people, sundowners. And basically, literally as the sun goes down and it transitions from day to night, my mother's relative stability also dovetails. So
wait, that's a thing?
Yeah,
that is a thing.
So the process of controlling it is basically to enforce a regular schedule, limit sort of disturbing or explosive imagery, which isn't that my mom can't watch a horror movie, but maybe something with large explosions and shooting is not good when you're trying to sleep. Controlled lighting so that mom is never really in a fully darkened environment, and like I said, ensuring she sleeps through the night so that during the day she has the full surfeit of capacity, and she can work out her energy and then sleep the following evening. Because being a night owl is actually bad for my mother now. So, how about them comic books?
How about the comic books? Hey, Ayrton, you want to pull up what they're doing to massacre Young Justice? and destroy all their
Jesus.
characters.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, give me one
Jesus fucking Christ.
sec.
So fucking silly.
Get rid of that.
I mean, there's so much stupid to argue about right now. Because there's the thing with Nope. There's the thing with Adam Smith swearing up and down, or Kevin Smith swearing up and down that really this time he'll get He-Man right, guys. I swear.
Because
Where
this movie they have contract for.
do you want me to
There's
just start at the beginning where you started posting, or?
Well,
Wait, but
start
isn't
with
this-
start with the open.
Isn't this the Young Justice that we have a White Wally West in, though?
Yeah. This is a lead-in to a new comic to retcon the return of these characters by.
They get a pass for that.
This is a retcon of what Bendis did.
Let me ask this.
Is this the right one?
Let me ask this before. No, that's not the first page.
No, that's not the first one. But
yeah, they were
first
they were
one
released.
is when they're at the school and they use their pronouns.
They were released in. Larry shared them in reverse order.
God damn it, Larry.
Yeah. But the question I have to ask, just because I don't read shit, was what Bendis did really that bad? That it needs a retcon?
Yes.
I mean, he exists.
I haven't read it, but it's Bendis and he did it, so yes.
Yeah, that's not justifying the retcon if the retcon is terrible. It's just a question of is it something that needs fixed?
I mean, Bendis is always terrible and always needs fixing.
So it's a nightmare cascade.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what else do you want me to pull up from this?
The ones where Batman says that being gay is a phase for Tim.
Oh, okay.
Can I point out how little action is actually going on in that flat fucking page?
I mean, you can't.
We have standing next to the gate.
I don't even think people are walking in that top thing. Like,
they're not. I mean, we're supposed to believe that they are, but we have standing next to the gate. We have standing next to the gate with other people standing behind us. We have people standing behind us, and then we have hands on hips standing in place. It is incredibly flat. I don't care how well it's drawn. It's not just comics are a visual medium. It's one of the quintessential elements of comics going all the way back to the beginning. Comics are an active medium. Show people in motion, doing things, reaching for things, leaping off of things. Even if it doesn't make sense, make there be activity on the given page, or the page is wasted.
So Cassie and the Green Arrow's daughter there, who's becoming part of the college experience, even though it's supposed to be a high school, because the author can't mind their editorial.
Well, it's a boarding school, Larry. So those are basically mini colleges, and they're exactly the same, and there's no difference whatsoever.
So
he's right.
She's trying to get a team together to get Wally, Tim, and Connor out of an extra-dimensional Neverland that's set up by Mr. Mixelplex's son.
Wait, Mixelplick reproduced? How?
I don't know, but I saw the sales thing for this comic as part of the Dark Crisis.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Where the female superheroes
was. Wait, that means Batmite can have babies.
Yes, and his son is called Mike Mixelplick.
That's the story I'm interested. Well, that's the story I'm interested in. Fuck this one.
See.
Wait, you're interested in
show me Batman's kid.
Wait, real quick. You said the one where Batman says it's just a phase?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I want to comment on a problem I have, because it's going to weird people out. Hi, I'm a metalhead. I also hate pandering. Okay? I did not enjoy the DC metal events with the Batman who laughs, because that's the edgiest, most stupid looking shit I've ever seen. I don't like the idea of the dying, dead, most extreme, most edgy, awful version of DC.
But
as
it's
some kind of cosmic benefit. Yeah, extremely stupid. Extremely
see-
stupid, extremely
No,
dumb.
did you see how many pouches they had, Rune? Calm down. You don't understand. They had pouches.
I don't care how many pouches they had.
Inside their pouches, there are other pouches.
Yeah, but you know what the utility belt's
Right.
good for?
It's
The
pouchception.
the utility belt is really good for David Carradining these people. My boggle is okay. We're already
Rune.
tired.
Rune,
Yeah.
showing your boggle on stream is against terms of service.
Let's get terms of service.
we've already expressed more than once that we're tired of the event cycle. 2 events a quarter, 4 events a year, right? We're tired of it.
Yeah.
Okay. The append to that is I am also tired of these cutesy pirate fucking nicknames when I know it's not going to stick. It's a crisis. What kind of crisis? It's a dark crisis. Really?
You would
How
have
is it
zoomed in
dark?
the bottom
What-
corner there.
What
Batman.
darkness? What's gonna
No,
fucking
because
happen?
I hate those shoulder spikes. What the fuck is going on there?
But zoom in there. We need to
Alright,
see
hold
disapproving
on.
homophobic Batman dad.
Well, as you zoom into this, Larry, you're in a game with me. How crisisful do you feel? Would you say
I mean,
the game you're
I
in
mean
is in
something
a
much
state of
more
crisis?
meaningful than this.
Rune, I've also been in a game with you. I felt very under crisis the whole time.
Right,
But
actual
crisis
crisis.
meaning.
Crisis with meaning. Well, what is the dark crisis here? That the Dark Knight is a homophobe? Is that the crisis?
I don't know. I felt massive disapproval from you the entire time as well. Or
Oh,
disappointment.
no.
Disappointment, I
No.
should say, not disapproval.
No,
Disappointment.
no. You're a first time gamer. It was first time gamer time. That was fine. Because you're the one who's insisted. It's like, oh man, I wish I had gone serious on this more than once.
Nobody else did, though. We like it just the way it was.
But
Man,
we're gonna
Flashcast
see
must be
the
over.
young
You
Justice
mean-
We have
boys.
2 viewers
You
now.
mean the good times, the bad times?
We're gonna go see the young
'Cause
Justice
that-
boys go off and
that-
be
that's what-
toxically male,
Because let me tell you, that's what friends are for, Church.
and they're gonna be led on the path of toxic masculinity by a Peter Pan who's connected to a Superman villain that
I
people
still-
know what it is.
No, still, nobody's answered why Batman has shoulder spikes.
Bad art.
It's a sex thing.
I have.
Oh,
I-
it's a weird, like, sex pervert
It's-
thing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Oh,
fun
okay.
answer. My answer's the real answer. We wish it was a sex thing. There have been a couple of Batman art styles, costume styles, where he has some variation of a bat-like spike to generate the wing feel on the cape. This one just looks particularly stupid since it's on a barren white panel.
I mean, it looks stupid on the panel a little bit farther up, too.
Right, but we were just talking about this on the other page. Where's the movement here? Okay, and matter of point, what's in this room?
I want to know how the chick goes from handing him something to putting her hand on her chin to handing him something again within a couple of panels.
No, I'm serious. What's in this room? What is the purpose of
No,
this
I'm
chamber?
I'm being serious too. Look at that flow. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, scroll up. I gotta
Zoom
see
back
this
out.
because I
Oh,
didn't-
oh,
yeah.
right. Sorry, my bad. I forget. I'm looking at it from a different.
It's okay. You're
Sorry.
a little retarded.
Okay,
So she
There.
hands him the thing, then moves her hand.
and then hands him again, and then she's like 7 feet behind him after that.
Right. So yeah. No, the flow is wrong because it should be top panel, lower left panel, top right panel, in flow.
Yeah, like make it make sense.
But it's worse now because now that we're looking at
And there
more
should be a
room-
panel in between. Well, no, Rune's right. It should be top panel, the panel right below it, then the chin panel. But in between that and the following panel should be a picture of him holding the mask up to his face
And
to show
the
what
follow-
she's contemplating.
and like I'm rambling. What the fuck is the purpose of this room?
It's the room for characters to stand around and have awkward conversations in.
Well,
That's
see,
what it
here's the
says
thing.
on the
Not-
map of the building.
Well, see,
I didn't
not
know this room
seeing
existed
the
in Marvel and DC.
not seeing the pages before or pages after, and that's not relevant. I would assume, as a creative, that it's an observation lounge. It's literally a room for looking out into space,
Isn't this
and
the same room that Guy Gardner mooned Batman from?
It is.
possibly. And
I'm,
Batman
I'm-
wants to be in this
I'm
room.
going into my freezer.
My-
No, I'm going into my freezer. I'm extracting a bottle of 99 black cherries, and
Oh, jeez.
I feel like I need to punish myself.
But what I'm getting at, even though it's a niggle that only a art junkie
I
gets at,
I don't think you're allowed to say that word, Rune.
I didn't say the word you're implying. Shut up. Is this room exists for no discernible purpose, with no
niggle,
equipment,
niggle.
no furniture, right? We don't see the room, so there's no establishing shot, right? Like we don't see them come out of the elevator with this thing, right? But we have multiple panels of these blank, empty, blue frames, backgrounds, where it's like, no, shouldn't we see the window? Shouldn't we see the room? I know why they didn't do it. It's like, well, it's because it's hard. We got a deadline. We got to save.
Shouldn't we see the
panel
wall?
space.
Shouldn't we
Yeah.
see the sweat drip down my balls?
Right.
All skeet, 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 motherfucker. All skeet,
Right.
skeet, goddamn.
And
My niggle?
and this, but this brings us to the big one. This brings us to the big one, which is always the one that I have a problem with. Okay. I'm not working for DC. Okay. They're not
But if
interested in my
DC,
work.
if you want to hire
Okay.
Rune, he does have a resume available.
I do. But here's the thing. Someone got paid for this. Someone got paid to do this page with terrible flow, acceptable yet cookie cutter art that they made digitally. Because I have the book. I know how they do it. Right? And absolutely barren backgrounds. And they got paid a full wage. I know lots of people say, oh, well comic artists and writers don't get paid a lot. They get paid more than I do.
Here's the thing, though, Rune, and here's why I don't have a problem with that. You know what they didn't get? They didn't get the customer's money before the product was on the shelf.
True. They didn't, in fact, get to steal it from you first. They had to create a lie with a cover. I mean, we've been hoping it's a phase at DC for years.
And the writer of this was the writer who came up with the idea of making Tim Drake trisexual.
Wait, what?
He'll try anything twice.
He's a try-hard sexual. He's trying really hard to have sex and just keeps failing.
No, that's literally the definition of a trisexual. They'll try anything twice.
But yes,
What?
but again, he
I'm not
ignored
joking.
the fact that the problem people had with him making Tim bi is the fact that Tim talked about marrying Stephanie, adopting a kid with her, having kids with her, the whole shebang and bang.
Well, this is compounded. I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat for a moment. You have Batman saying it's just a phase, and that's to make Batman come off as a right-wing extremist dipshit, because they really like the idea that Batman is the Republican Superman, even though Batman is not Tony Stark, right? Here's the thing, though. That's not about Batman. That's to take that at us, the viewers, specifically for pointing out that this will not stick. Well, it's just a phase. Because it's a short-term
red
event,
pill,
and
Rune.
it's not going to stick.
No, here's the red pill, Rune, and a lot of people don't want to swallow this. Batman comes
I
from
see what you did
crime-riddled. Batman comes from a crime-riddled metropolis, where Superman comes from the nice, sunny metropolis where crime doesn't just happen out in the open.
Right.
Technically, Batman is the democratic Superman.
Right. Now, mind you, if we were going to go dig into the stupid levels of thematic concepts, I could get in on how Batman is ultimately a paternalist and very backward in his,
And honestly,
in his ethics and morals.
Well, honestly, upon further examination of that statement, I honestly feel like Batman's put less people in jail than Kamala Harris.
Right. The the thing of it is that at least in Batman, they put a lampshade on the fact that Batman is a criminal, and that what he is doing is legally wrong and ethically questionable. But they also point out, like,
Reprehensible, yeah.
if he doesn't do it, the Joker's going to kill 20,000 more people with a whoopee cushion
Also,
full of acid.
Batman didn't suck his way to the top of a political sphere, so.
Wait, did Superman suck his dick?
No,
dick
Kamala
down
Harris.
the wall?
No, Kamala
Kamala
Harris.
Oh, okay.
No, Kamala Harris did.
Well,
Allegedly.
because I'm just gonna
Willie
say,
Brown.
I'm just gonna say,
And hers were not behind a Pizza Hut.
because I'm just gonna say, man, if it's a throwdown between the Flash and Superman to see who can suck the most dick fastest, that's a storyline to do.
No, hers was on private jets.
Maybe a private Pizza Hut.
No, they're already doing that with John Kent.
Oh, okay.
The pizza jet.
Okay, we need somebody to
Yeah,
Photoshop.
what do you call that? It'll be a good sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I want somebody to
like Krispy
Photoshop.
Kreme and the Power Rangers.
I want somebody to Photoshop EVS as Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs, and forward that to me. So Rune,
Oh,
me and
did you guys touch on it last week about how Doug Ernst and Comic Book Hut? Or no, we talked about that 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
yeah, we talked
2
about
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But me and Larry have a surprise live reaction review we want to do with Rune.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
It's all right.
All
But
right.
I want to point out, this is what the price I pay for getting to talk about my gamer shit.
Yes, it is. You already know what we're about to do, too. This is great. I can
Rune,
feel
what
your
you should do
butthole
at this
puckering
point
right
is just,
now.
what you should do at this point is just share your screen of. What you should do is just share your screen and just have the meme of "Are you not entertained?" pulled up.
Ayrton, before you hit this, adjust the trail thing along the bottom so it says, "Are you not entertained?" And or this is Sparta.
Yeah.
Let me.
Oh, okay, yeah. We're gonna live react to this.
Yeah. That's. Oh wait, no. Here you go, Rune. There's a better one.
Thank you. I do have cold coffee. All right.
All right, you guys ready?
Hi,
Because warm
Chad.
coffee going in the nose isn't good.
Well, no, it's just I have liquid for my relapse.
Okay. All right, and let's listen.
Here's the thing.
You can tell me to stop at any point, Rune, to yell.
And when you do this,
Can you turn it up a bit? Actually, let's swirl it back a little and just turn up the noise
Okay.
pan.
I didn't want to blow your guys.
volume's low.
I didn't want to blow your guys' ears out like I did with the Ripiverse thing last week. So.
Right, but if you want my reactions,
With that
I
junk,
gotta
yeah,
hear
know.
the
You
stupid.
didn't want to blow our ears out like you did with that junk. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
team of thieves.
How's that?
And
Yeah,
when
it's
you
good.
do this,
Well, I mean, it's not good because
you're
it's
bound
this
to make enemies.
trailer.
Sometimes those enemies come looking for revenge.
Wait, did that dragon just spit out rocks?
No, that was a black dragon
Oh my God.
spitting acid, and somebody fired a catapult that
Okay.
exploded on arrival.
And I'm kind of
Yeah,
pissed
but
that they're
I mean-
using a Led Zeppelin song.
Oh yeah, it's one of the problems. Proceed.
Truth be told, we helped the wrong person steal the wrong thing. We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known,
Yes, we're using Vecna because Stranger Things. Cocksuckers.
but we're gonna fix it.
So how do we pull that off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best. They give us a fighting chance.
Oh, and we're riffing on Valkyrie while we're at it.
I know
Good
you
job.
don't.
We also need
King
courage,
Valkyrie, give her a proper salutation.
magic, and you. What is that again? Now there.
Bullshit.
There is evil here.
I'm glad he's on our side.
This one's dangerous.
Oh, I saw that scene in His Highness.
Whatever happens.
I'm glad they're lifting from better films.
We'll be ready.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
you make plans that fail.
No,
He also plays the lute.
not relevant.
Well, we know that the loot's going to be relevant in this movie.
So I'm really interested to find out who thought that it was a good idea to make Guardians of the Galaxy with D&D badly.
Well, here's my thing. I actually think that this wouldn't be awful if it didn't like hinge off the nuts of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, absolutely. If it was just a fantasy movie, it's probably okay. But it needs to.
I thought the Sci-Fi Channel stopped making these kind of movies.
Oh yeah, no, but it's not D&D, and while we're at it, it's not
Well, you
Guardians of the
haven't
Galaxy.
You haven't seen Sharknado 8?
I will tell you the thing that when I saw this originally had me screaming and yelling in a channel where me and the other OSR people hang out. She can't turn into a fucking owlbear. Not unless she's
Why
7th
not?
level and has the spell
I can
slot
turn-
for shape for polymorph. That's her wild shape, and the wild shape of an owlbear is outside of her power scale. She can't go that challenge rating, which means it's bullshit. It's a bullshit tiefling with bullshit powers and not D&D.
Also, that Tiefling's
Right.
actress is very big into Critical Role.
No, see, here's the thing. I was talking to people about what are the best D&D movies, and 3 of them aren't fucking D&D.
One of them's
Okay.
National Treasure, right?
Well, The Last
No.
Samurai was a pretty good one.
No,
The Last Samurai was a good one.
it's not a D&D movie. That's a historical.
It is. No.
It is not.
So is D&D. I mean, all of that really happened.
No, it is not Oriental Adventures. It is a 19th century historical with rifles. If they did Oriental Adventures,
Yeah.
I'd be down. We're not going to get an Oriental Adventures movie because Oriental Adventures is racist. Just ask the extremists. No. The 3 good D&D movies, in my opinion, are the remake of Clash of the Titans, although credits to the original Clash of Titans with Ray Harryhausen as Goat, Princess Bride, and quite frankly, Peter Jackson's first Lord of the Rings trilogy, not The Hobbit. And before you say, oh, but there are 3 movies, they're one long fucking movie that's 12 hours long.
Well, 9, unless you watch the extended. But yes, you're right.
I know people go out of their way to watch the extended once a year, like fucking losers.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're on a show
I-
with one.
I only watch the extended editions. What's wrong with you?
Right. There's nothing wrong with it. I just know people that they're like, I don't watch anything but the extended versions, and that's the same kind of pretentious
Correct.
bullshit we hear about people. That's like, I don't listen to CDs; they're too digital. And we know what to do with those people. You bend them over, you wedgie them, and you kick them in the face.
I mean,
So-
there was a time I said that, Rune, but that's because they were too digital for my car at the time. I had to use tape still.
That's different. I'm talking about those try-hard edgelords in the 90s that were like, hey, vinyl's coming back. Vinyl's the way. It's like, no.
Well, vinyl did come
Vinyl's
back technically.
I
as a
have a
bubble.
I
Vinyl is
have a
actually selling better than ever.
I have a vinyl collection, Rune.
I'm
Having a
waiting for
collection
8-track
because
to
you
come back.
having a collection because you choose to have it, and
Well,
having
no,
a
you
collection
can't-
because you're a hipster piece of trash that wants to say that you're too good for conventional media are two different
Well,
things.
let's be fair here. You can't DJ properly with CDs.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Unless you're on a bumpy dirt
digital
road.
scratching just doesn't fucking work.
Sure, but if
Unless
you're getting
unless
vinyl
you're
to
on a bumpy dirt road, Church.
but if you're getting vinyl for DJing, you're not
That's true.
interested in getting the you're not going out of your way to get the White Album because you believe that the Beatles is only truly captured on vinyl.
Oh, it sounds 1,000% better on vinyl.
It does.
It's still the fucking Beatles.
No,
I mean,
it definitely
1,000%
sounds.
better than zero is still zero, but
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, no, my thing is that ultimately, Honor Among Thieves might be good. I don't suspect it will be. It might be a fun time. I don't expect it will be. And I think that they're riffing on a lot of other people's successful tropes for making fantasy flicks, and that should concern us.
actually, you know what we should do is we should make some merch that instead of it being Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, it's Dungeons and Dragons Honor Monkeys, which is what I just heard Rune say.
I mean, sure. No, Princess Bride is absolutely a D&D, Chad.
Oh yeah,
It's a
Princess Bride is
real
absolutely a D&D campaign.
run by
That
kids.
was very
also-
software.
Also, hello, Jeremy Carroll. I don't know who you are, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the madness. Yes, we
I
saw the
apologize
Munsters
for
trailer. Holy
everything
shit.
that's coming.
But you know what? We need to talk about that CBR article because one of the seven
The-
seals is broken.
The unicorn?
A CBR article that's actually reasonable and not trash.
Can we go through
It's
it
act-
point
it's
by
actually-
point?
It's actually what we call
wow.
it. It's actually something we call an alicorn rune. I've learned this because my daughter loves My Little Pony. It's a Pegasus with a horn.
Sure.
Church,
But-
you're a brony. Don't lie to us.
But I'm just saying, can we go through it point by point and like
We will.
immerse ourselves in goodness?
So
Can I feel nice for a moment, Ayrton?
no.
You piece of shit.
So this is an article from CBR. 10
I hate you
comic
so
tropes.
much.
10 comics tropes. It's time.
Making me fucking watch that damn D&D trailer, and now you're like, no, you can't feel nice. You have to feel awful. Fuck you.
All right, Rune.
Fuck
You want to
you.
take point? You want to take point 10?
Sure. Replacing heroes is passive. You want to scroll down so I can read them? The 2010s had a raft of heroes replacing others. Sometimes it worked, like with Miss Marvel and Spider-Man. Not really. But
That's
other times it hurt the character replacing the other. It was a way to introduce new characters and diversify roles, but it was the wrong approach. No shit. Marvel and DC have seemingly learned their lesson with 2 Wolverines, Captain America, and Batman, and more running around. This trope needs to be put to bed. The best-known mantles are big enough for more than one person, and it gives fans more choice. Not everyone likes
No.
Logan as Wolverine. Cocksuckers, maybe. But they like Flora or vice versa. Sure. Giving readers a choice is better than forcing them in one direction. No. This is-
That's
You're
not how
wrong.
that works.
You're right about your assertion. You're wrong about how you get there.
I'm going to go to point 9, which is the one I love the most.
All right.
Dystopian
All right,
future
we'll
give you
stories
this one.
need to go away for a while. Dystopian future stories have been big business for comics, stretching back to Days of Future Past, for example. They've become a huge part of the X-Men's DNA. Actually, it's the current X-Men run is based in a dystopia, and have been a staple of almost every superhero comic. They all have a story where the heroes learn about a terrible future and have to figure out how to stop it. Dystopian futures have gotten old at this point. Some of them are good, but they all sort of follow the same guidelines. So many stories have fallen back on them in order to make an impact. It just feels kind of lazy, because it is. Keep going back to the same well.
So before we roll on, I want to comment on something because I agree. Dystopia needs to be put on the shelf for a bit. But again, the guy's actually wrong about how he gets there because we've actually seen attempts at not being dark. And the reason they don't work is because people seem to think that being positive means being a fucking pixie stick with a sugar rush shoved up your ass. There's a middle ground, people, where you need to have good characters, being good, doing good things. It ain't hard. It ain't rocket science.
I'll take point on number 8 since I'm the channel owner and saying
Sure.
certain things is pastiche on YouTube.
Ninja.
Bangers need a rest. Since the 1980s, comics and ninjas have been bedfellows. No one can deny that ninjas are cool because they are. It's gotten to the point that it's meaningless. For example, no one is really scared if the hand shows up anymore, unless the stories call for them not to. Wolverine or Deadpool will...
Daredevil, sir.
Scroll down a little bit, watermark covering.
Yeah.
No, Wolverine or Daredevil. No, the other way.
Up.
Scroll up.
There you go.
All right,
I can't
we'll
see
mow
what you
through
guys see.
hundreds of them flawlessly.
Why don't you just have a second window
Ninjas
open?
have
Oh, that's
become
right.
the cannon fodder.
Just run a potato.
Or overpowered, and it's ridiculous. It's about time for ninjas to go away for a while, at least until creators figure out a way to make them feel like a threat. They look cool and have great weapons, but taking them seriously is almost impossible. And I completely agree with this.
I mean,
Same.
Because they haven't been a
ninjas
formidable
are gay.
threat.
I mean, again, the issue is the issue is use them right. Not that there's anything wrong with ninjas specifically.
No,
Well,
ninjas are
the
gay.
thing is you can't.
No.
You can't
Scroll
anymore,
up.
though, Rune.
No. Let me explain. Scroll up to the picture. This is the problem. Is Daredevil fighting 3 million ninjas? You want me to be impressed by a ninja's threat? First of all, don't make him superpowered. We don't need magical ninjas, right? And secondly, have ninjas doing what ninjas actually do. Assassinating people, threatening people's mundane lives with
And then
skill
escaping
and
without
talent.
being like...
Again,
Right.
Ninja, please. Remember
And
how
then
the
escaping
Simpsons
without
did
ever
Ninja?
being noticed.
Right.
Well, hold
exactly.
up. Do you remember how the Simpsons did the Ninja? And the Ninja was there, and Homer... he's going to do something cool. And then they closed the door to cool.
Hey, I turned into Hulk once.
Sure, Stan.
I mean, I did. I really did.
Banger!
All right, I'll
right,
take this one. The event cycle needs to end. This one is more Marvel centric than anything else, but fans are tired of the event cycle. No, fuck. That doesn't mean event books are bad per se. Yes, it does. Events as a storytelling trope still have their place, but the predictable nature of the multiple yearly events that Marvel and to much lesser extent DC put out created
Do you suck cock, sir?
The event fatigue. Event books don't matter at all anymore. Looking at Marvel's last few big events, War of the Realms. What the fuck is that? Empire.
That was when Asgard was warring on everybody.
And King in Black reveals 3 events that had little impact at all.
Symbiote event. Right?
They still sell, but their endings disappoint fans more often than not. I haven't heard of any of those.
King in Black was their big effort to introduce a new Eldritch Abomination to replace Gore the God Killer with Null, the god of the symbiotes. And it's fucking retarded. But more importantly...
Wait, Josh Moon was the god of the symbiotes?
but more importantly...
I knew something was up with that kid.
The author of this article is right, but again, he's wrong. I'm sorry, DC has back-to-back fucking events. Don't tell me they don't have fucking events.
Hold on, Rune. We can't fault a CBR writer for being wrong when they get this close to being right. No, when they get this close to being right, we just have to give them a pass on the things that fuck up.
Now, as the only married person on this panel, I think Church needs to do this one.
Superheroes getting married isn't bad. Every Spider-Man fan has an opinion of One More Day and a retcon
'Cause
of
it's shit.
Spider-Man's marriage. Very few fans look at it positively. It's considered a black mark on Spidey's history by the majority. The entire attitude beyond it is that readers can't empathize with Spider-Man anymore because he's married, because, all comic fans are incels, and that married superheroes aren't popular.
Right.
This has been mostly a Marvel problem, but DC did it with Batman and Catwoman when it looked like they were getting married. Comic fans are older in general, so married heroes don't bother them. In fact, even young fans of the 80s and 90s love Peter and MJ's marriage. Well, they love Peter, but
Yeah.
this trope has always been wrong. It finally
Hold
needs
up,
to
hold up,
end.
hold up, hold up. Church, wouldn't you like to be married to a hot ass redhead with giant tits?
No, I'm
Yes.
married to Mrs. Church, and that's the best.
Well, I mean, as far as I understand it, Mrs. Church is pretty hot ass, and you're married to her, so
Yeah, she's just not a redhead, and she hates Mary
Hey,
Jane.
hey,
So,
hey, Joe. How
but
about
I
I'll
mean,
let you
I've
take
always
the next
thought
one?
that. Well, I've always thought that Peter Parker should have been married to Gwen Stacy. So,
no.
or
Fuck
Felicia
that.
Hardy. So,
Here's the thing of it, okay, and certainly everybody has their preference, okay. Gwen Stacy was so reviled at the time of introduction, they killed her off, and her only value in Spider lore was dying until they brought her back. Okay,
Except in
Spider-Man's
Mexico.
Spider-Man's in between girlfriend, Betty. I mean, we like Betty. Betty's nice. I appreciate that Betty married Molten Man, but
no,
she didn't have
well,
enough.
didn't
She
she
didn't have
also
enough.
marry the Hobgoblin?
Yes, but that's the thing is that she didn't have enough personality to matter until she was associated with a supervillain.
Well, I mean, she
Right.
definitely was a terrible judge of character, I think.
Well, admittedly, it was. Well, here's the thing: it wasn't Roderick Kingsley. It was Ned Leeds who was being brainwashed. So she's a victim in that regard, really. But what I'm getting at is that even though it is unlikely, even though it is living the dream for many an incel nerd, uh, Spider-Man and Mary Jane's relationship made sense and developed naturally for the exact same reasons that Spider-Man and Felicia don't work. Because MJ, whether you like her or not, and you're allowed to have your opinions, at least trusts Spider-Man. She at least loves Peter Parker. Felicia
Well,
loves
depending on
Spider-Man.
who's writing her,
Doesn't
I'll give you that, but you also have to give me the
Right,
caveat
sure.
depending on who's writing her.
Sure, but by and large, Felicia loves Spider-Man. She loves the adventure. She's not into Peter Parker, who's kind of a
Oh,
dweeb.
well, nobody's into Peter Parker. That's the joke.
Right, but that's just it. Is that MJ was into Peter?
I'm just
Because
saying
even
though,
though he's a
Peter
dweeb-
let a
I
lot of
bet
pipe.
she was Panama Red.
Hold on, hold on. But I mean, Peter got to lay out a lot of pipe back in the day.
He did. He did.
He did.
But what I'm ultimately getting at is that in the progression of emotional relationships, right? The reason people liked MJ's marriage, even if they didn't particularly like MJ, is that it felt like a natural progression of events. Because this was before an era where we were. I mean, it wasn't even before an era, but it was
Here,
an era when we did major events differently
look,
because we didn't
well, let's
invalidate
talk about
previous events.
let's talk about marriage as a trope in an overarching storytelling device.
Right.
How many times can you put the love interest in peril? Honestly,
Right.
and it still be a good, fresh idea. However, when a character is married and their identity is semi-public known, there's too many ways for a writer to shoehorn in. Oh, well, the villain figured out who Peter Parker's wife was, so
The thing
I
is
mean,
that we have to
I I get that.
Carry on.
Well, hold on. I
Carry
get
on.
that it's almost like handcuffing a writer,
Mhm.
having a character with a love interest like that. That's why, protecting Aunt May and Mary Jane was so important during Civil War when
Right.
Peter Parker revealed his identity to begin with.
The thing is that we have examples of the other way and why it doesn't work when it's not done right. Okay, I have one from DC. I have one from Marvel. The DC one was already mentioned in
Okay.
this article. Okay, Batman and Catwoman hooking up and getting married doesn't work. It doesn't work because they aren't in love. It doesn't work because people aren't enthusiastic to see Selena Kyle and Batman finally tie the knot. It doesn't work because they never answered the fundamental thesis that separated them, which is that Batman is on a crusade for the law and Catwoman is an adventurous thief. Right? These characters have to stop being themselves to be married. It doesn't work. It's a tragedy. And you enjoy the fact that it's tragic because you want them to get together, but they can't. And yes, I understand there are a limited number of stories for that.
Well,
But then-
here's the thing, though. You can actually stretch that out into 6 months of storytelling in the comics.
Sure. But then you have the other example, which is Storm and T'Challa getting married. Okay? Now, whether or
Because they're
not
both
you believe...
African.
Yeah, whether you believe or not that Storm should have hooked up with Thor, and you think that that's a really slim argument, is irrelevant.
No,
I
she
actually
should have hooked up with
don't hate-
Wolverine.
Right.
She
No,
did.
I don't hate T'Challa and Storm being married because they're both
Right.
African royalty. It makes sense that they would form a power couple to
except
unite the
the-
continent.
Except the motivation was never about that. It was never presented as we should come together for our collective peoples. It was always I'm black, you're black.
That's-
We should get married because we're black. And then
No.
the marketing was meet Marvel's first couple, replacing Sue Storm and Reed Richards as the
That's
black
where the
couple.
marketing was, but
And-
in Civil War,
And
in Civil
and
War,
they pushed-
where isn't that where it happened?
no, it happened during or after Civil War II, and was part of that terrible.
No,
What is it? What is it? Compression event?
No, it was
where everything's
before. It
smashed
was.
together?
It was before Civil War II, wasn't it?
Well, because there's
no.
an event
And
in
can you
between.
can you give me an exact like?
Yeah, I'm pulling
I
it
feel
up.
like it
Hold
was
on.
Civil War.
We'll look it up. But what I'm actually getting at, though, okay, is that then they go around and it's like, well, we're doing this because we have a black man in office. So really, Storm and T'Challa are the Obama and Michelle of Marvel. That's not good storytelling. That's lazy fucking storytelling and stupid. It's insulting to your consumer. You want to
Well,
do a
hold
6 month
on.
story where Storm and T'Challa, court and come together and they work on a couple of cases
Well,
together and
can't-
you get to believe
You can't.
that they're going to work
Well, you
together.
can't
then
tell
yes.
that same. You can't tell that same story though with T'Challa and Storm as you can with Batman and Catwoman.
Why?
Because there's that overarching tension there's the overarching tension that Batman and Catwoman always had that was written into their characters,
Right.
and
but
you don't
here's the thing.
experience any of that. Like it was almost
no.
a shock.
no,
It
it's
was
there.
almost a shock to
No, no.
find out that
No,
that
no,
was
no.
a thing.
No, it's there, but you glossed over it because the writers gloss over it. Storm is not
No,
African
it's not
nobility.
there. That's the point. If the writers
let
glossed
me-
over it, then
so-
it's not
let-
there,
no,
Rune.
let
So
me finish.
hey, hold on, real quick.
Okay.
No, she is worship.
Hold on.
We'll get to that.
Two-
Ayrton, do your
two-
thing.
2006 in Black Panther Volume 4, issues 14 and 15 is when he proposed.
Okay.
So,
But is that Civil War or
and the-
after Civil
hold
War?
on, hold on.
Directly.
And
Okay.
the wedding took place during the Civil War ceasefire event.
Okay. That's why I
Okay.
didn't see it. So
So
here's
it
the thing, though.
makes sense to me.
Here's the thing,
to
though.
me that during a global conflict involving supers, that two supers representing two different continents would come together to try and form some
Right,
kind
but-
of political and power
but-
couple.
But here's the thing. Okay.
Also,
and
they're
you were
not
trying
Obama
to.
and Michelle. They're what's her name? Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah, tell Marvel that. They really loved pushing the Obama narrative. But here's the thing. No, Storm is worshipped as a rain goddess, but she's not nobility. Okay? Storm is a street rat.
Right, yeah.
According
Okay.
to the article, according to the fandom article I was just looking at, they retconned it. So when Storm discovered her water controlling abilities,
Right.
she rescued T'Challa when he was also a child.
Right, and then T'Challa instantly fell in love with her and was
Yeah.
personally responsible for her encountering Charles Xavier, which is bullshit. Okay? But what I'm getting at
Yeah.
is that
Anytime the
Storm's
word
actual-
retcon comes in, it's awful.
What I'm getting at is that Storm's actual youth was not changed. So before she encountered T'Challa, she was living on the streets of Cairo as a thief, being manipulated by the Shadow King. Okay, this is a woman of the
Well, it was
people
almost.
who has been abused. Okay, you
Well,
want
it's
to
almost
create.
the same kind of. It's almost the same kind of like story they wanted to try and push, with Mystique being a ward of Charles Xavier all her
Right,
life,
but
almost in the
what I'm getting at
movies,
is what I'm getting at
when
is
she
if
was
you
just
want
a
to
street thief that was manipulated.
what I'm getting at is that if you want to sell the idea of Storm and T'Challa as a couple, and you tell me, well, there's not really a conflict for them to go over. No, there is. It involves the fact that T'Challa has a silver spoon in his mouth because he was the heir apparent from birth,
Actually,
right?
can we
And you
can
have
we take a
Storm,
second?
who is
Can we take a second and step back and realize how many times Marvel has implied that female mutants were basically streetwalkers before they were brought
constantly,
into a team dynamic?
e-
Like, isn't
except
that pretty shit?
except for Wolfsbane, who is a self-hating Catholic who has
No, I
daddy
mean you
issues
got
about her sexuality.
you
I'm
got
just saying.
Rogue,
I'm just
who's
saying
implied.
I'm just saying it's a different fetish.
Well, you got Rogue, who was implied to, have been groomed by Mystique. You've got Mystique in the MCU, who's implied to have been like an urchin before she
Right.
broke into Xavier's mansion.
Don't
Right.
let her became.
You've got
changed
Storm,
shape
who was a
change.
street rat in Cairo.
Right.
Who?
It's
What'd you
something
say?
to talk about, Larry.
But
What'd you say?
Yeah.
I actually wasn't going to say
I
anything.
didn't catch what you said.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, no, it's
okay.
it's something to talk about, but I'm just saying that T'Challa and Storm are more nuanced characters, and whether I enjoy T'Challa or not, they deserve a good story. They don't deserve to be slapped together like action figures because somebody in the writers' room is going fight, 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 kiss, kiss, kiss.
Well, because you enjoyed T'Challa, do you enjoy the idea that the new Black
No,
Panther is
I in
gonna
fact
be...
do not enjoy T'Challa. I think T'Challa's a monster.
Oh.
Because I don't like Wakanda.
No, I mean, no, I feel like Killmonger was the monster. It's there in the name.
I mean, yes.
Anyway,
but
they're all
but I want to point out that's a movie not about any good
let's
guys. That's a
continue the
movie
list
about bad guys
so we
being
can
bad.
actually get through this.
Joe,
We
I
got-
want you to do the next one about the
All right.
smart people.
All right, all smart people aren't amoral.
Just the ones in this show.
This trope goes
Thank
back to
you.
the earliest
Thank you
days
for pointing
of
that
comics.
out, Larry.
This trope goes back to the earliest days of comics, but has made a comeback in recent years. For decades, many villains were amoral, intelligent men and women, using their super smarts, making them not care about anything but their goals. Over the last 20 years, this has also been extended to smart heroes, with some of the most disliked all coming from the ranks of super scientists. In comics, might makes right. Didn't used to, and intelligence is bad. Didn't used to. There are plenty of smart heroes out there, but the ones who mostly depend on their intelligence to win are often played as amoral at best. Villains have always been vilified for being smart, with their intellect leading to callousness and duplicity. It's a tired trope. He's not wrong, but it's also not... It doesn't cover everything.
Octavius, Doom. I mean, it kind of does. I mean, back in the day, they are right, especially in the Silver Age of comics. Being a bad guy meant you were a genius that the world had fucked you over.
But see, the
you
thing
were
is,
basically Einstein that the world shit on.
The thing is that this also fundamentally misses that Marvel occasionally would remind you that smart people can do good, even bad guys. Remember, Otto Octavius saved Aunt May's life because Aunt May had been nice to him, and they had an old people friendship.
Well, I mean, that's after he sexually assaulted her and tricked her into marriage. But sure.
I mean, yeah. But why does Doom have such a vociferous fan base? Because despite his methods being awful, Doom often
because
has
he's a fucking
very
goat.
Positive,
that's why.
Yeah, he often has positive intentions, and you can almost see how his thought process works. It's just that that's supposed to be the juxtaposition to remind you why Reed Richards, who can't do anything, isn't a bad guy. Because Reed Richards is kind of a douche.
We had. Let's be real, Rune. Because in the Gold and Silver Age, we had writers that understood that a moral gray area was actually, you know, how the world worked. Just because
Right.
you're supposed to root against this guy, just because you're supposed to see what he's doing as being bad, doesn't mean that he had bad intentions.
I mean, best example, absolute best example, in the original Secret Wars, Doom steals the power of Galactus. He actually has, world
To try
power.
and thwart the Beyonder. Yes.
Right. And he steals the Beyonder's power. Right? And once
But
he has it,
couldn't-
well, that's the thing. Once he has it, he's like, I don't have any,
Look, it's
any
like-
negative.
It's like Asia and Risk, man. I mean,
Right.
7
I'm just
extra
saying-
fucking turns, but you can't fucking hold it.
I'm just
7 extra
saying,
turns, but you can't fucking hold it.
I'm just saying, once he has the power, he's like, I have no ill will towards anyone. I don't mean ill for anyone. I will use this power for good. The
Well,
problem is,
no.
as you say, he couldn't hold it because when he would go to sleep, because he's a human being who needs sleep, his psychic negativity would come out and would scourge the planet.
No, that's one thing that Hickman corrected because gods don't need sleep, but sure.
But
Right,
I want to do the
Doom
next
wasn't a god. Doom used technology to steal power that wasn't his.
I'm going to do the next one here. Making the comics like movies need to stop. This is the only one that I think actually they might be wrong on. Superhero movies are big business with the best ruling box office in pop culture. The audience for these movies is much bigger than the comics rating audience, so the big two have tried to lure moviegoers to comics by changing comics to be more like movies. There's a huge problem with this, though. It doesn't work. If the MCU fan, for example, wanted to read comics, they would have all along. The overlap between movie fans and comic fans is minuscule and mostly consisting of people who already read comics. Catering to a non-existent audience only angers the existing one. So here's why I think this
There's
is
parts
wrong.
of that that's true. There's parts of that are true, but carry on.
I think this is wrong because it's coming at this from the wrong angle. Movies tell a cinematic type of story.
Right.
And if you want to make comics that are entirely cinematic in scope, in themes, in tone, you go
They
nuts.
did that
That's not
in Earth
attracting.
X.
It's not attracting.
Yeah.
That's not attracting a movie audience. That's just attracting an audience.
The thing is that what made the Marvel bubble work, what made it explode so powerfully, was making movies like comics.
No, it was Robert Downey Jr.
Hey,
No,
that
it was
helps.
Sam Raimi. Let's be honest.
But that's what I'm getting at, though. Sam Raimi made his Spider-Man films very close to Silver Age Spider-Man. It
Yes.
appealed to
Hey,
people who like Silver
to this day, I will still say the Fox
Spider-Man 2.
No, the Fox Fantastic Four movies are terrible movies, but they are great comic book movies.
Oh, they are. They
The
absolutely
best
are.
comic book movie ever made was Spider-Man 2 by Sam Raimi.
And in matter of point, because we have to address the 8 million pound gorilla in the room. They used to understand
You said Van Sciver's not here.
No, they used to understand that diverging from content didn't work, because the problem with the Daredevil film was never Ben Affleck. It was
Well,
Jennifer Garner, and it was their changes to structure. They
Well, I
made a
actually
bad
have
Daredevil
a-
movie.
I have kind of a rant about that to close the show off, but
All right, let's speed
Anyway,
through these
continue,
last
Larry.
couple. Let's speed through these last couple.
no,
though.
let's not speed through them. I like what we're doing.
Okay.
All
And
right,
we're actually working for once.
Hey, Ayrton,
DC needs to pub.
I think
Go
Ayrton
ahead.
should do the one about Batman.
Oh, I
Really?
will do the one about Batman. Yeah, DC needs
Okay,
to publish
all right.
less Batman stuff. Yeah, because Batman
Yes.
is cringe and gay at this point. Anyways, Batman is everywhere at DC right
But-
now.
But Ayrton, it's just a
2021
phase.
some.
It's just hey,
2021 saw multiple Batman ongoings and miniseries published. 2022 has continued that. It has gotten to the point that most of the publishers' output is Batman related, leaving behind all kinds of great DC concepts in order to have more Batman comics. They sell, but if DC put the talent and advertising into other characters that they do into Batman, those books would sell as well. Batman definitely doesn't need to go away forever or
No, they
anything,
wouldn't.
but things need to change when nearly every big DC announcement is Batman related or adjacent. Now,
I mean-
hold on.
Okay.
I again, this guy's point is right, but the way he got to it is wrong. Batman is gay and cringe, The only proper Batman is Adam West. Give him a gun again. Make him a goddamn fucking detective. You fucking cocksuckers. And stop with this fucking bullshit of trying to make him dark and brooding.
The
Motherfuckers.
Quarters of the DC thing for next month. 3/4 of the books are Batman.
Right.
Okay, so
Batman.
the entry is correct. There's too much Batman.
Well,
But Batman
it's
is not the
2021 and 2020. Well, it's not just 2021 and 2022 that are the problem either. Batman has been DC's largest market share
Right.
since what, 85?
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
No, the issue is that DC needs to put not just talent on their other books, right? But they need to treat those books with the same level of care and authoritarian control they put on Batman.
Well, they did for a while during
the
the death of Superman, the most popular and collected Superman run in history. The death of Superman was marketed and treated like a Batman property.
Right, and the issue
went
is
through every Superman title.
the issue isn't
mainstream media releases on the death of Superman.
But the issue isn't even making more comics like Batman. It's about making comics good. They think as long as they put something with Batman's name on it, they can half-ass because we'll buy it.
No. You're not getting my point though. Even though the death of Superman was handled like a Batman book, even though the death of Hal Jordan and the slaughtering of the Green Lantern Corps was handled like a Batman book, even though the death of the Flash and Infinite Crisis was handled like a Batman book, none of them made Batman numbers.
Right.
For some reason, that fucking symbol sells more books on a fucking monthly basis than anything else.
Well, there is a...
Church, you make logos. That's one of the best logos that comic book companies ever come up with.
There's also a broader problem here.
If that was the case, they wouldn't have changed it 48 times in the last 80 years.
The thing is, there's also a broader problem here, and that problem is that shit, stupid jokes getting in my brain pan. The broader problem.
What I'm getting
is,
at though, go ahead.
The broader problem is that all comics, not just DC, not just Marvel, all the big ones, are inflated. They're operating on inflated numbers, and they're trying to repeatedly make those inflated numbers. A Superman book should aim for Superman numbers and make those every month. It should not aim for Batman numbers. That's just bad business.
But you have to. You have to aim to be bigger.
No,
or else your book is on the chopping block. You have
you have to aim to increase sales, bro.
No, that's
how business works.
No, that's a corporate mandate. If you don't make this baseline, you don't sell. Okay.
Well, unfortunately, we don't live in the 30s anymore when you don't have to deal with that.
But what I'm saying is that comics don't work on that. It's not it might be assembly line like.
No, comics do work on that, but the thing is we don't work on that anymore.
No, Rune, that's just sales. Like if I bring in a new cigar in my shop's humidor, if it doesn't sell a certain benchmark within a certain time, I throw it on the buy one get one free shelf and get it the fuck out of here.
Here's the problem, Ayrton. All right, I'm a tobacco manufacturer. I'm making a brand new cigar. I have a baby cigar. It's called Baby Cigar. Okay, it is a brand new cigar. It's less than a week old. Okay. You put it on your shelf, okay? If the expectation of Baby Cigar is that I am going to make the same money as the most august, well-known, and famous tobacco maker
Rocky Patel.
Then you're setting yourself up for failure.
People know Rocky Patel. They sell well, don't they?
Not in my store, no.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're trying to attain the success of the most. When you are not operating at most, you're setting yourself up for failure.
No, but that's my point, Rune. I specialize in smaller manufacturers and smaller brands. There's a benchmark.
Right.
If they can't do at least then they're taking up more room on my shelf than it's worth.
Hold on, though. There's not a me or a Larry in every comic book store across the company. It's usually some idiot that likes one book,
Well,
and it's typically
yeah.
fucking Batman working the
Right.
register at these comic book stores. Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
Okay, so there's not a you at these
Right.
stores that have the love and the care and the knowledge of every product that you're putting on the shelf. So if I come up to you and I say, hey, I've heard this Green Lantern book is good, and it's the best Green Lantern book that's ever been written, you don't have the knowledge that it's the best Green Lantern book that's ever written because you've only read Batman. You have to put yourself in those shoes, and that's why Batman does numbers.
Yeah, and that's also poor salesmanship because even if you don't know, you
No,
lie.
it's not. It's
No,
it's
no, 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 hold on. No, you lie and you say like, yeah, I've heard this one's really good. I haven't read it yet myself. I haven't gotten
Right.
around to it, but
But
I've
that
heard it's
brings us-
great.
Heard from-
So you
But
get
that
the
brings us.
so you get the sale, Church. That's
But
how
that
you sell.
brings us-
Right?
But that
No.
brings us back to DC.
No. Being in sales myself and marketing, lying gets you a one-time customer. Telling the truth
Right.
and telling the truth accurately gets
Okay.
you
That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
customer.
maybe not lie, but
And-
you bend the truth a
but-
bit.
Hey,
But-
Church,
hey,
he isn't lying. He said he's
the-
heard from many
hey.
customers that this is the best Green Lantern book they've ever read.
Look,
Right.
Look, it is 100% true that sucker's born every minute, and your job is to separate one sucker from his money. But, okay, that is the problem with DC, is they make a secondary book that's not going to make Batman numbers, and then they lie about its quality, and they're like, well, you bought it, don't you like it? It's like, no, it's not Batman good. I deserve Batman good. And then their smart-ass response is, well, why didn't you just buy Batman?
Because Batman isn't Batman good anymore. Anyway,
Right.
let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next so we can get through these before
Yeah.
the end of the
All
show.
right.
And Chad, to answer your question real quick, yes, Blade is a comic book, but Blade can be presented as not a comic book in film. So Blade is not a good example.
Not every DC event needs to be a multiverse-centric story.
Yes.
DC's various crisis events are beloved. They create a certain expectation for DC event books that the publisher hasn't strayed from in a long time. It's gotten to the point where every DC event book for years now has been multiverse-centric. While it's good that DC doesn't do multiple events every year, they keep going to the same well. The DC universe is a vast place. For years, publishers have put out event stories that have nothing to do with the multiverse. Even after the multiverse had returned, the DC multiverse is great, but it doesn't need to be the focus for every event. I don't disagree with anything in that.
No, it's
I mean,
true.
They could have Blue Beetle Island where everybody gets Blue Beetle powers.
Well, no, I mean,
I would read that.
I would watch that as a TV show, actually. It's like an elimination show. They rip the scarab off your back and kill you if you fail.
Like I'm picturing Oliver
so wait,
Queen
you're
with
saying-
Blue Beetle powers.
So
and
wait, you're
that's
just
fantastic.
saying. So you're just saying it's X-Men on Krakatoa?
No, I was going to
Quick-
Spider
quick-
Island. I was going to Spider Island, actually.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I was pointing out that Krakoa's plot line is if you fail to survive, you just die, and Krakoa brings you back.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about being brought back. I'm talking about having your scarab ripped off and you just dying a painful death as elimination.
Right. Right.
Now,
that
the
was
last one.
actually a plot line they did on Battle World with not the Runaways.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Last one.
I'm
Superhero
aware.
faction wars lost their shine quickly. Civil War is the most important Marvel story of the 2000s
Ugh.
because it killed Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Very bad precedent for Marvel. Superheroes fighting superheroes has always been part of the medium's DNA, but Civil War took it to the worst level. Yes. Since in a succession of events have pit Marvel heroes against each other, something people have long been tired of, because it was a bad idea. For a company called the House of Ideas, they definitely overused some ideas. This one is a prime example of this. There were problems with the first Civil War. Yeah, because it wasn't any good. The company still built their line for years
hold
behind the
on.
concept of superheroes fighting.
The concept of Civil War was good. The execution
No,
was a
Civil
bit
War.
dicey.
Civil War was decent. The multiple
The concept of
tie-ins-
Civil War was what if 9/11, but the president was right, and the president was Tony Stark. That
No,
was the concept behind Civil War.
no.
Yes,
no.
That is what the people who made the book said their concept was.
Guys,
They
there is
they didn't execute it well enough to pull that off. I didn't get that from it.
guys, there's another element here that needs to be brought up before you get so deep into this he said, she said, you're both pretty
Look,
thing.
we
before
only
lose it.
have what is it? 4 minutes left.
We have as,
So-
we have as
we
many
have-
minutes as you want, Church.
which is
the-
4.
Yeah, the thing is that Civil War was supposed to be the War and Peace of comics, and they did not have the wherewithal to follow through on that.
No,
Okay.
but Skate Man
Because-
was
the
the
crime
War
and
and Peace of
punishment
comics.
comics.
Well, because in conversation they
Wait,
revealed.
wait, did you say
post-
Skate Man was the War and
Yes,
Peace
he
of
did.
comics?
in conversation post Civil War, various writers and artists mentioned that they made entire plot lines for Tony to explore Tony's points that just hit the cutting room floor. They never got to make them. Tony got like 4 books to explain why he was right. Okay, you can't
But he wasn't, though.
But
wasn't,
that's
but-
more than enough books to explain while I'm right. Skate Man had 1 book and he won.
So with that in mind, Ayrton, before we jump out,
Yeah.
can you put the link that I put in private chat up?
Well, no, I'm not done yet though.
Yeah, Church
Well,
isn't
yes,
done yet.
I had a
There's no-
point to make about
Church,
There's
can
no-
continue.
There's no link in private chat, Rune.
Yes, there is.
no.
Not
he
on my
already
end.
put that up.
It's
No.
above, unrelated to Alan Grant.
Oh,
No, he already
I
put
brought
that up.
that. I brought that up.
Oh, you
Yeah, we
guys
talked
already did the
about
Metallica joke? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
You
my
weren't
life
here.
is. I was not. I
Oh
was
no,
helping
you
my
were
mother.
tending. You were tending. Yeah.
So okay, no,
But,
my life is
no.
good. You guys have covered it.
The thing is, I think that the point about not making comics like Marvel movies is, like you guys said, not necessarily on base. However, I think the movie debacle should have been handled a little bit differently. And I've said this before, but we have a treasure trove of content in comic books to pull for movies that have absolutely dick all to do with the mainstream comic book storylines. Marvel has published a well of what if books. DC has published a well called Elseworlds. And
Right.
you could have had this experiment where you said, how do we translate a comic book into a movie without
Well-
having any impact whatsoever
Well,
on
Church.
the universes that were making money that had nothing to do with movies?
Well, Church. We have those, and the problem is they were done really badly. Because
No.
Marvel has a what
They
if show.
weren't. DC has done them in animation fucking phenomenally.
No. Marvel has a what if show on Disney Plus. It is
That's
a dumpster
not the
fire.
same though. That is a
DC
fucking no. That
DC is
that
doing
what-
Vertigo. They did Lucifer, and it was awful, and they're doing Sandman. And it's going to be
Lucifer
awful.
was not awful. Lucifer, if you didn't look
The
at it
show?
like a comic book,
The
if you
fucking
didn't look at
show.
it, if you did not look at it like a comic book property, Lucifer was actually decent.
You mean
It was-
with Diet
it was-
David Tennant?
It was a fine supernatural procedural.
It was
Which
a
should never
fine
have-
procedural revolving around the fallen angel from heaven.
Someone who was not Lucifer.
Sure, but
You
the
could have
thing
named
was,
it
is
anyone
like-
else, and it would have worked.
But the thing is naming it Lucifer didn't directly tie it to a Vertigo show.
Yes, it did.
No.
Yes, it did. They have a crossover with their shitty Hellblazer book. That is
Well-
Lucifer.
Hey,
From
hold
Lucifer.
up.
But who the fuck knows who John Constantine is except for Keanu Reeves?
People who
Well,
watch the
that's
animated
real.
features because they've been pushing John Constantine since
And also,
Justice League Dark.
the blonde guy who played John Constantine in the TV show in live action also voices John Constantine to the animated.
Right.
Which was
And-
much better than the fucking Keanu Reeves movie. Let's just be
Yes.
honest.
But they're negotiating
no,
with Keanu to bring that back.
I think that going through the 80s and early 90s Elseworlds, going through the fucking... I mean, honestly, I would have loved to have seen a Hulk and Batman crossover in the big screen before
Or how
I
about-
saw an Avengers
you-
Endgame.
Here's the
How
thing.
about Acts of Vengeance?
Here's the thing. You are correct that
How
these
about
shows
fucking
should be.
Marvel versus DC?
Here's
I
the
mean,
thing. You are correct that these shows should exist and that these shows should be used to generate content that is independent from plotline. But
I think they
the
should have been the
quality's not
pioneers
there.
to. Why? I mean, you can
Why
do
is
just
the
as good of you can do just as good of a job with one
no
script that you can
no
with
no
another.
no? That's no, I'm saying the stuff they've made is not good quality. The only
No,
one
it
that
doesn't.
they're
That's not the
no
point. What I'm
no
saying is
no
they should have made different
church
stuff.
church. They did Marvel Zombies as a what if animation, and because that was the only episode of
I'm
What If
not
that
talking
actually
about what
got
they did. I'm talking about what they should have done.
right. But I'm saying they can't do it, and they won't because they don't approach it from a position of let's do it right.
Well,
They
Hey,
because
they
they're
approach
already
it.
speaking-
fucked up.
They
Well,
approach
Speaking
it
of
from they
they've
approach
already
from a position of let's do it our way, and make
because
those
they've already
slobs eat
fucked
it.
up and determined how they're going to do it based on doing movies that are in continuity, quote unquote.
Speaking of Keanu Reeves, should we watch the 1 minute teaser trailer for John Wick 4 to end the show?
Is that a Beard Zerker movie
No,
with Don Chen?
actually, no.
Could we have a
No,
Beard Zerker movie
well-
with? Can we get Keanu Reeves to do Beard Zerker? That would be the ultimate.
I
in
think
awesome.
we could actually. He's a
We
really
probably
nice person.
could.
But here's the thing: we should not watch the John Wick 4 trailer because we would get a copyright claim on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely.
The
We
D&D,
already-
the D&D movie, I'm sure we wouldn't, but they want as much publicity on that as possible. But
Yeah, they're like,
John Wick,
yeah, we
I'm
don't
sure
give
will
a
be,
shit.
Yeah, I'm sure John Wick will catch us a copyright claim. The last time we reviewed anything like through a major publisher, we caught one. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So, have we had Church's final thought?
no, that was my final thought. I was saving it.
Okay.
I think that the instead of the MCU doing fucking Endgame and Infinity War and all that shit for his first bit, the first several movies should have just been what if movies. Like, do your fucking Jane Foster Thor and get a crowd reaction from it. Don't establish Chris Hemsworth and be like, no, but Natalie Portman, right? And then when that doesn't fucking test well, don't come back and say, oh, but not quite Natalie Portman, right?
Well, this all factors into a big problem that both major comic houses are having with their cinematic universes, which is that they've decided that they're assembly line and that they can do them faster, ever faster. Okay, the early Marvel films are enjoyable in part because they took their time to get them done.
Well, no, the earlier Marvel films are enjoyable because Sam Raimi and Sony did them.
And how long did Sam Raimi take? As long as it needed. As long as it needed, not as long as Sony wanted it.
Well, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that epic rap battle where he's it's Stanley Kubrick. It's what is it? Alfred Hitchcock versus Spielberg.
Yeah.
But Stanley Kubrick going like another take to get it right 127 times.
One of the problems I had, because I think it's pertinent to this, if we're going to talk about Sam Raimi, is that Multiverse of Madness is not bad because it's bad, although it ultimately is bad. It is bad because it is frenetic. It is so fast. It is so crazy fast, jumping from point to point, from plot to plot, without ever considering the significance of those plots, that you never get any time to comprehend a character's motivation,
No,
care about them,
it's
or the
it's
results.
bad because the studios went to Sam and said like, "Hey, we
it's
dig your
also-
style, but pull it back a little bit."
Right? No, that's what we're talking about. Okay, and the worst part is that then you have the opposite perspective where it's like, but Star Wars. It's like, yes, Star Wars worked well with corporate
It's
restraints.
also bad because it did nothing but drive.
Right.
Well, hold on. Sam Raimi's Multiverse of Madness did nothing but drive the point of Multiverse of Madness, whereas
Right.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man drew a narrative through 3 movies until they
Right.
fucked up the third one.
Right, because of Sony's interference. So the ultimate answer is that there is a narrow dividing line between too much corporate interference and not enough corporate interference. And even though we've learned the lesson that not enough is bad, right? Disney and Warner Brothers and Sony are currently in a status of way too much corporate interference. They're films that work, are films that are fun and free
Well,
moving
I mean, it
and move at
depends
their
on the
own
corporate
space.
interference.
Right.
Sony stepped in and said, we're not doing the X-Men 92 costumes on our X-Men because that's not going to put asses in seats. And they were right. I think the uniform for X-Men, while it was cheesy to a comic fan, was actually sensible to a movie-going audience, and it gave us a little chuckle when he said something about yellow spandex, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But putting Wolverine in yellow spandex in, what was it, 2002 would have been a
Right,
terrible fucking idea.
But then, because you brought up the original X-Men trilogy run, then you have Dark Phoenix, where it's like, okay, so what are we doing? We're doing Mutant Empire and Dark Phoenix, and we're doing the Legacy Virus, and we have cops firing plastic bullets full of legacy, full of anti-muty
Okay.
cure, all at once.
Okay,
That's too much.
I'll give you I'll give you this as Church's final thought then,
Okay.
and Ayrton, be ready on the trigger when I'm done with
Okay.
this. But
Okay.
as I've mentioned on the show before, I'm a big fan of George R. R. Martin's Wild Card series. Okay, the books are established in a series of 3, so every 3 books is a different saga, right?
Yeah.
Well, your first 2 books are mosaics. So you have different stories intertwined within each other. So you might have the story of Croyd Crimson, where he interacts with the character somewhere else, but that's not the overarching plot line, and that character has their own overarching plot line. But by the 3rd book, it's just an ongoing series where all of the stories are interwoven into a cumulative piece.
Right.
Okay, you never got that in the MCU or in any superhero medium. They fell the fuck apart because they made the tragic mistake that they made in the 2nd series of Wildcard books, which caused it to be a 4-book series. Instead of saying to the editor, go fuck yourself, instead of saying to your writers, hey, get it the fuck together, the guy tried to make everybody happy and said, we'll just make this work somehow. So you had multiple overarching plot lines, and you were trying to shoehorn in everything your writers were feeding you, instead of thinking about your overarching fan base who's going to read this shit and go, what the fuck are you doing? And that's what we had in these movies. So you fucked up. You wrote yourself a 4th book. You made yourself a little bit more money, but you pissed off your fan base. And that many more people didn't make it to the 28th book in the series,
Right.
as they should have. But that's my final thought. I think that they fucked up by not listening to the fan base and trying to make everybody on the production end happy in the movie going facilities, especially with X-Men. X-Men was always a clusterfuck by the time they reached the penultimate and ultimate episodes of their trilogies.
Yeah.
The first episodes were good. The second ones kind of fell apart, and the third ones were just trash fires across the board.
I don't know. X2 was pretty fun with Nightcrawler.
No,
and shit.
X2 was goddamn
X2 was
garbage.
okay.
X2 was goddamn garbage. What are you on about?
I mean, I haven't seen it in probably 20 years. But
Mouthless
from
Deadpool? What are you fucking on about?
no, that's
No, that's not
Wolverine.
X2.
That's Wolverine Legends, man.
Is it?
That's Wolverine Origins. Yes.
Yeah, X2 is
I thought that was
Nightcrawler
X2.
and the dam and stuff.
Yeah. X2 is Weapon X storyline, in which
That's what I just
Mystique
got
works
done
with.
saying.
No, Mystique works with the X-Men. She sneaks in. She gets shot in the fucking chest by Dude because he says he can recognize his own
No,
work.
that's X3.
No, that is
No,
X2.
that's X2.
You are absolutely wrong, Church.
The Mutant Cure was
X3.
X3.
Yeah.
No, nobody said Mutant Cure. We're talking about Nightcrawler and Weapon X.
Oh, she got shot in X2 independent. I guess I've never seen X2. Or I don't remember it.
It's considered the more popular of those 3 movies.
It is an acceptable movie version of Weapon X. Because
Yeah,
trying to condense
it's
down
fun.
the totality of the Weapon X storyline is
But is
insane.
it better than X1?
A little bit.
The
You
the
think so?
issue between the issue between the two is that X1 was a lot of establishing,
Yeah.
and X2 was continuation. But then X3 is completely
Oh wait,
batshit
no,
insane.
you're right. X2 was the one where Storm lost her accent.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I remember that critique. Like Storm no longer has an accent.
No,
because I
but
guess
but
it
the
wasn't
biggest
written
problem
by
is
their contract.
X3 was a different writer and director as well.
Right. They
that
fired
fucked
the
it up.
guy from the original.
Yeah, so that just fucked it all up.
Even though the lead
Well,
producer
X3
was still a
bad except
pedophile.
for the Juggernaut bitch. Well, the Juggernaut bitch was
Juggernaut-
the only good part about X3. Didn't I
Well,
say
yeah.
you should have ended
Okay.
this like 4 minutes ago?
That
Yeah.
I
Good night,
didn't get
everybody.
I didn't get a clear
You can
signal.
everybody are
All right, good night, everybody.
You need to use a giant middle finger gif, Church.
Let's hope it's just a phase.
I'll just turn my camera on and put my penis in it.